Welcome to the Hollywood Raw YouTube page, guys. We're happy to have you here. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave us comments, do all the stuff.
What are you waiting for? Let's go. I got a drug addiction to feed.
Welcome to the Hollywood Raw podcast. I'm Dax Holt. Over there's Adam Glyn. We are here for our Raw Rundown, our weekly kind of Cliff Notes version of what happened in entertainment news to, get you caught up. We've been doing this for a while. I feel like this might just be the favorite episode of everyone by the week. I think our interviews are amazing, but I get a lot more feedback, but people like this stuff, Adam.
I think they do. I mean, this past week we had a great interview, though. So I suggest people to listen back to Tara Reid. We had Tara Reid on the podcast. Someone, when we first started this podcast, we always wanted as a guest, and we had Tara on. She's so cool. She does exactly what we wanted to do in this podcast. She humanizes the industry and makes you understand what it's like from her perspective. And it's just
I actually got really nice comments on her too, by the way, like people being like kind of the same feeling I had when she hosted TMZ is that, oh wow, I didn't know that about her. Like that makes me like her so much more, or just change my opinion about her. So I thought that was cool that there was really good feedback about her.
she's just cool. She's cool. That's the, I feel like she's one of those people that her feet are on the ground and she gets it. And I guess she has that stereotype, not stereotype, she has that label as being a partier.
Mhm.
But in some ways, she never hurt anybody, like she said. She never got a DUI. She was just someone who
And she was always on
enjoying
time to
life.
work.
She was always on time to work. She was celebrating her career. Like, who would want to celebrate the cool? But like, holy shit, you're in Hollywood, you're in the game, you're in the scene, you get to get free drink. Celebrate. So props to her. By the way, I had a really insane week. I got a lot of celebrities this past week, dude.
Oh yeah?
Well, first off, I haven't talked to you yet. Guess who I ran into the other day? Just
Who?
guess. Oh, you're not gonna be.
Well, I know
guessing.
the Tori Spelling one.
Oh, I saw Tori. Yeah, Tori was cool. We spoke, and Tori.
Is there any chance? Adam,
We're
she's
getting
coming
closer.
on?
We're getting closer.
Okay.
It's getting
Okay.
hot. But then I ran into Pete Davidson this past week.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
That's
so I
awesome.
got
How is
back
he?
with Pete. Pete's a good guy. I have to say about Pete. Pete is very, very nice. He's good to fans. He's good to people. But like, I've known Pete for a long time. I don't like have any tea on him. I don't have any dirt on him. All I can say is a good guy. But it's like he's one of those guys where I talk to Pete. I don't think I don't have an issue saying I don't try to hide my relationship with the guy. I talk to him. We're friends. But he's one of those guys it's hard to stay friends with him because he changes his number all the time. So fortunately, like it was good to run into him and see him and catch up, and then also get like the new number from like basically the number how to get in contact with him, because guys like that, they just keep getting new numbers. But also I ran into a few other people. I ran into Emma Stone.
Oh,
So
sick.
basically what happened was, first of
Okay.
all, I'm a huge Emma Stone fan. I love Emma Stone. I think she's charming. Like I don't know. It was actually kind of funny. I was outside the Knicks versus Lakers game, and of course, a lot of celebrities show up for that game. And outside the entrance where all the celebrities go in was just mayhem. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of people like waiting to see who the celebrities are going to come out next. And Emma Stone was like kind of like covered up a little bit with her husband, and they walk out the door.
She was outside waiting for a celeb to show up.
Yeah, she was with me trying to see who's going to be there next. She's like, "Is Bruno Mars coming?" But all of a sudden, I see her kind of like walking.
By
out
the way, that
door.
was no dig at Emma Stone. I was just simply making a joke, everyone. I love Emma Stone.
But I had a nice time with her. It was like, I obviously have my camera in my hand. I'm trying to get some interviews with some people. And I see Emma Stone like kind of sneak out. People don't really recognize her because she was kind of covered up, and she's not one of those strong personalities like, oh my God, Emma Stone. And she kind of sneaks out, but then some people started to recognize her. But it was so many people, she didn't know where to go to get to her car. Like it was just like chaotic to get out. And I go, Emma. And she like sees me, and she doesn't know who I am, by the way. And I'm like, here, go out this way. And people are starting to they want to get to her. Like I'm trying to like help her out a little bit. And they're like, here, go out this way. Cause I was standing like a smooth path to like get out of like the mayhem where it was like tons of people. And she basically walked towards me, got her through, and she just put her hand on my arm, and she's like, hey, thank you so much. And she saw my camera. She looked down. She goes, oh, you're not working? I go, listen, I know you're not into it. Like, just go have fun. She's like, that's so sweet. Have a good night. Just like a nice, quick but nice, pleasant interaction with her. I mean, I wish there was
That's
more
a good
substance
one.
to the story, but I can just say she is like a nice person. Like she's
You know
sweet.
what? Sometimes it's those little moments in life where you see people's true personality. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And so that I like that.
And I
Cool.
again, I personally for me, I don't try to hound people. I don't go for people who aren't into it. I know she's not into it. She's not even on social media. So I was just kind of like giving her a pass. And she was very appreciative. She was very nice and very cool about it. But I did see Jon Stewart, and it's cool to like. So I saw two celebrities this past week: Jon Stewart and DL Hughley, two people who I haven't seen in a while. And if you see the videos, they're on my Instagram story. Like they're like they get excited to see me. They're like, "Yo, yo!" And to me, that gets me so excited. Like they know who I am, they appreciate me. And it's just funny. Like we have that kind of relationship where they get excited to see me, and that was kind of nice. All right, enough about me. On to the top 10 stories of the week. Before we get to the top 10 stories of the week, Dax, do you have like any like quick reviews you could read us?
Yep. Here's one. This from DMD2780. 5 stars, says, love the podcast. Always a good listen on my commute to work. Denise from New Jersey.
Nice, Denise from
Thank you,
Jersey. Thank
Denise.
you for the review. I appreciate that. Shout out to
And
Jersey.
then this one is from Redster68. 5 stars. Good podcast. Love the Jim and Courtney interview. How can anyone not question Megan's sanity when she's married? She marries a kid sniffling member of the Biden crime family after a hot minute. Keep up the good work. By the way, it's okay to call Chelsea Handler out for being a moron. Alrighty then.
I listen, Red Stir 68. I don't I don't want to I
Don't
appreciate
start
yeah, I don't say
bashing on Megan.
no,
That's not the point of
I'm
us.
not
We
crashing
were
on
here
Megan, I'm
to
not crashing on Biden. Will I give shit to Chelsea Handler? I'll give a little shit about Chelsea Handler just because I don't know. I find a lot of bullshit there. I don't care. It is what it is.
But
All
thank
right.
you for your comment. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Guys, please leave a
Okay,
review. All right, on to the
let's get
top
in.
10 stories of the week, Dax, starting with number 10. What do we got?
Number 10 is Matt Lauer and his girlfriend are actually super serious about each other. Her name is Shamin Abbas, I believe is how you say her name properly. They stepped out for a very rare spotting for a date night. Matt Lauer is like really never seen out anymore. And so they were in New York City over the weekend and dressed super casual, gray hoodie, like a black jacket, a beanie. And she wore kind of like a skirt, I would say. Or yeah, it's like a yellowish color skirt. I'm no fashion guy, clearly. But they stepped out to have dinner together. And all their contacts are telling People magazine that they are very much in a really good, serious, happy relationship right now. They've got a solid foundation as friends in the business, as where they started, and then they started dating, and the romance has grown over the years. And I think they've known each other for like 18 years or something like that, for a really, really long time. And I guess that source also tells people they're happy and both busy in their own lives as well as together. They have many of the same interests. So this is an interesting relationship, nonetheless. If you remember, he got divorced from his wife a couple years ago after all the cheating and allegations and the rumors and the whole reason that he was removed from the Today Show. So he has clearly moved on, and I think that everyone deserves to be happy at the end of the day. If it didn't work out with his last wife and he was bad to her, it doesn't stop him from deserving love again at some point in his life, even if he was a dickbag for his last one.
I miss Matt Lauer. I really do. I was a huge Today Show fan. I loved the Today Show when Matt Lauer was there. I just thought, um, I loved his interviews. I just loved what he did on the show. And it's good to see him back. I do wonder if, like, as
What do you mean back? He was out walking through a
I know,
street. Like,
like
it's not
back
like
out. Like I
no
want
one's
to see him.
hiring him.
No, I want to see him back out. But that's the thing I'm curious about. Like, is he just thrown in the towel and never going to try to work in broadcasting again? And him being so quiet and silent and not kind of really addressing it, has that worked against him to a certain extent? I don't know if that
I,
was a good PR move, or I don't know.
yeah, I think once you disappear from the spotlight for this long, I I don't see him coming back. And I don't it's not like people have forgotten the allegations and forgotten what, he really dropped a bomb on the Today Show with all that stuff. Like, it was basically a woman had come forward. If you don't remember the story, she had come forward back in like 2007 after one of the former employees at the Today Show reported that he sexually harassed her, and then several other women came forward with similar accusations. And then one of the women, I think her name was Brooke Nevels, said that he actually raped her in a hotel room at the 2014 Sochi Olympics, where she was working with Meredith Vieira at the time. So they were really, really strong accusations. So he was obviously fired from the Today Show. Again, I say all that. They were allegations. I don't think anything ever went to court or anything like that.
I mean, we're seeing something a little bit similar right now going on with Good Morning America. Now, again, the host TJ is not as big as Matt Lauer. He's not, he was the host of GMA3, but we're seeing something similar kind of going on with GMA3. I have a wild Matt Lauer story, and it's nothing against. I'm not going to say it now. I can't say it.
Well, how do you tease a? I've got a great, fantastic story. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's so fucking juicy and good. Yes, why? Of course.
Honestly, it's crazy. I had a really, really awesome relationship with Matt Lauer. I had a great relationship. I was a fan of him. But like we just had great interviews. We had great chemistry. We just got along. And when I left my last job, this was years ago when Matt Lauer was at the Today Show, I said, Matt, I'm no longer under contract. He goes, get out, let's talk. And I went to his office, and the office, nice office, and we talked. We talked for a long time. And I said, Matt, why do you guys do this? Why do you guys do that on the show? And I wasn't applying for a job, but we were just bullshitting. And I was like pitching stuff like, dude, why do you guys do this? Why do you do that? And he goes, you know what? You should kind of work here. You should kind of be doing some stuff with us. He got me meeting with the executive producer of the Today Show, like the head guy. And I met with him and another producer. And I met with them, and the meeting went amazing. The meeting went great. And a weekend goes by. I hit up them, hit Matt's team, and said, hey, just want to check in. They said all good things, kind of like expect something pretty big. The next day, I went online. I got Matt like custom made like golf stuff because I thought I was going to get a big contract potentially. And like I got these custom made stuff. I mean, I was just like, my life was possibly going to change. And then the next day, I wake up to about 30 text messages. Matt gets let go for everything. And I'm like, oh my God, just like that. And I reached out to the producer I met with. And I said, hey, I just want to check in regarding that possible position. And he said, listen, Adam, with everything going on, we have to kind of, we're thinking, there's a lot going on here right now. And I get it. I understood. A few weeks go by, and I reached back out to the producer to say, hey, I just want to check in regarding everything. If there's anything with this huge position, like I could be like a really big job at the Today Show. And I don't hear anything. The next day, I read in page 6, the NBC cleaned house of all the NBC staff. And the guy got let go as well. And just like that, like I could have had a career-changing position that could have like basically, I wouldn't say set me for life, but like really kind of took care of me. Like I could have had that career in the industry.
Yeah.
And just like that, in a few hours, like 20 hours away from getting that contract, 20 hours away from it, everything gets taken away, which really kind of crushed me. But the other way of looking at it was if I would have gotten that position, I would have never gotten the podcast Hollywood Raw. So, I could have made a lot of money, but yet again, now I'm making no money and doing a podcast every week, 2 episodes a week. So it's actually pretty, it worked out. So,
oh man, that is crushing story right there.
That was a long story. All right, we're so long, guys. We try to get you in and out of this, but sorry for my
clearly not happening today.
No. All right, number 9.
Wow, that was a great story. Number 9, fraudster Anna Delvey. It's hard to say her name without like Anna Delvey. Anna Delvey is speaking with Harvard MBA students. Why in God's name would they ever want her fake socialite butt talking to a bunch of Harvard students? I have no idea, but it sounds like she is going to go to an MBA class at, obviously America's most prestigious university and talk to them about, let me see, it was I'm trying to see what the topic was. It was a weird topic, but nevertheless, I mean, she was super successful. I do have to give her that, right? Like she did fake her way to the top,
Yeah.
but do you really want that speaking to your
Yes.
students?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. I think it's
Why?
so smart. I want to hear Billy McFarland from Fire Festival speak. I want to hear the Anna Delvey because we're in a society where there's a lot of fraud, where there's a lot of convicts, there's a lot of people just kind of blowing smoke up your ass about their business, about them being an entrepreneur, about where they're at in
Mhm.
life. So I think it's good for people, especially students, to learn the other side. Like it's not all, horse and carriage. There's also a lot of fraud out there. There's a lot of bad people out there. And you know what? I want to hear their perspective, and maybe they have some good insight on what to see or what to look out for. Maybe they have some good questions to ask when you're in
Yeah, but
business.
is she teaching them what to look out for? Because it's kinda like she's always said, "Oh, I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong."
That's true.
It's
So
like she never
we'll see what
hasn't
she has to
really
say.
taken responsibility for what she's done. So I
Yeah.
don't know what she's gonna talk to. And by the way, she did speak last September virtually from an ICE detention facility, with Columbia University. And so it's like it's not the first time people have wanted to hear her story, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious about her story, but I also want to hear the truth. Because if I'm going to be sitting in a classroom, I want to learn something from it, and you hope there's some educational part about it. Like, you know what? She was very good at networking. Explain to me how you networked and what your network was. Like, what were you trying to do? Like, your goal. And
Mhm.
I think it could be really interesting, but she would have to be very honest and she'd have to be sort of very specific. So, was there strategy in networking? Like, networking to me is like, I don't know. I'm not articulate enough, and I say that, sadly. But I have a pretty good network, but I don't know how I do it. And I would love to see. She was dealing with some very, very wealthy people. How did you get your foot in the door? What did you say? And then obviously she lied, but what did she learn from her mistakes? And I don't know. There's a lot there, but again, like I said, I want to see how honest she's
Yeah,
going to get.
and for people that don't really know the Anna Delvey story, she basically faked her way to the top in New York society and then was convicted for grand larceny and theft of services. She was also convicted of attempted grand larceny for trying to fake her way into a $22 million bank loan for an arts club. And then obviously they made her whole story into that Netflix show, Inventing Anna. And so she was sentenced to 4 to 12 years in prison before getting released on good behavior back in February of 2021. So anyway, it's a fascinating story. It's strange that Harvard would want to talk to her. So
Yep.
whatever.
All
It
right.
is what it is.
Yep. All right. Number 8.
Number 8. Oh, this one's wild. Brandy Glanville and Carolyn Manzo exit the ultimate girls trip early after Brandy gave out some unwanted kisses. This is wild, but they were in Morocco last week, filming the second installment of this like Peacock franchise. When, according to a bunch of insiders that were there on set, Glanville took things way too far with Manzo during a party. She started kissing her multiple times throughout the evening without consent. And then I guess Carolyn got super distressed over the whole matter, and it did not seem to stop Brandy. So things escalated, and according to them, physical boundaries were allegedly crossed, and Carolyn felt that it was super serious and uncomfortable. And so the producers made a decision after production to actually let Brandy go, tell her she was going home. And interestingly enough, Manzo, yeah, I guess when she went to go leave, by the way, Brandy texted Manzo apologizing via text message, but that obviously didn't change the situation. And Manzo also decided to leave as well. She just said that this was not the situation she wanted to be in. She wanted to process it outside of the reality TV environment. But I am sure there were cameras rolling, and I am God for sure that this will all be aired out on television.
Yeah, 100%. It's good TV. It's good content. Caroline Manzo, I ran into her during BravoCon. She's like at a different stage now. She was always like the one who's like, I don't have time for that bullshit. Like she was just kind of
Yeah.
like cut to chase. I'm a realist. I'm friends with her kids, good guys. But, I think Brandy kind of plays it off for TV because, again, at the end of the day, you're there to make good television. And Caroline's like, no, I'm not there for this. I don't stand for this type of stuff. I don't
Well,
stand for that
so
type of
here's
behavior.
the interesting thing is what so in reality TV, they push you to be crazy. They push you to be wild and over the top because for Brandy, that's her brand, right? She is the wild chick that stirs up controversy and all of that. How where are the boundaries? Because if this was a different cast member, it probably would have turned into a really good plot point. You know what I'm saying? It's like, did she read the room wrong or whatever? Because that cast, there was a bunch of people there: Phaedra, Camille, Alex McCord, Gretchen, Vicky Gundelson. Like, I'm sure if she would have done that to another person, it was almost like that person may have played into it more because they know it's good for TV. Did she just pick the wrong person, or do you think she is out of control and the girl needs help?
Good, great questions. I don't know if I don't listen. I don't know the answer, and I don't. Neither of us know the answer. But the only thing I could say is the pressure of making good content when you're there. Because there's so many. You could get brand endorsements. You could get asked to go on some other shows. So
Mhm.
you're gonna play it up, the character, whoever you are. And yeah, I don't know if we're able to define the line. I don't know if we're able to say this is our holding point. It's just until someone else complains, then that's the line. And unfortunately, it ended with Caroline Manzo saying this was just uncomfortable for me, and for legal reasons, they have to kind of cut the show right away. But it's a good storyline, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know
It
what.
is a good storyline, and it's not the only housewife storyline that crumbled this week. If you remember, they were trying to do a legacy edition of the Real Housewives of New York, and they were going to have a bunch of the women on that: Sonia Morgan, Jill Zarin, Kelly Ben Simone, Dorinda, Luann. Everyone was going to do this legacy episode. It hit a huge snag because it was like half the cast was on board for what they were going to get paid, and then the other half was still fighting for more money, more episodes, all this stuff, until it got to the point where Bravo said, "Screw you, we're not into it anymore," and basically put out a statement saying that maybe they believe their personas are more relevant than they think they are. You know what I'm saying? Like they think more about themselves than they are for actually TV. That didn't make any sense, but you know what I'm trying to say.
We get it. It just adds to the more housewife drama. It just never ends. Somehow they're pretty decent to keep their names relevant. All right, number 7.
By the way, it was Jill Zarin who they kept throwing under the bus, saying that she was one of the big hiccups on that. And we had Jill. Jill was awesome.
It was
And
great,
when we
but
talked to her about going back to Housewives, she sounded like she was down for it, and she kind of made it sound like they needed her.
okay, number 7.
All right, number 7, Caitlin Bristow. She went on the Not Skinny Not Fat podcast and talked all about her exes, got into Sean Booth, got into Nick Viall, and even revealed that Jason Tartick and Sean Booth had a run-in on an airplane in Nashville. That had to be a little bit awkward, but apparently she was talking about how Jason went to go get on his flight to New York, and on the plane was Sean Booth, and apparently they didn't like talk to each other or say anything, but they clearly saw each other and then just moved on. And I'm like, oh, that has to be
That's
so
uncomfortable.
awkward.
Yeah.
But she did get into, kind of why her relationship failed with Sean Booth. She said that he never got over her sleeping with Nick Viall on the show, who is the runner up on the show. I guess it was just something that was nagging him in the back of his brain the whole time, that like, hey, my fiance, who's been telling me I'm the only one through the whole episode of The Bachelorette, then it plays back and it was like, you're not the only one. And I guess that really like messed with his brain, and he, felt really demeaned because the whole world knew that she hooked up with the other guy. And I guess it was just something that like crushed his ego inside, and he was never able to get over it.
Yeah, pretty good. I'm telling a lot of stories on today's podcast, guys. Forgive me, but Sean Booth is a strange guy, man. I think what he opened up a gym in Nashville. From what I've been hearing, is where he makes his money's bachelorette parties. And
Okay.
obviously, a lot of people go to Nashville. I don't know about in LA if a lot of people go to Nashville for bachelorette parties, but like in the East Coast, a lot of people go to Nashville for bachelorette parties. And what they do is they rent classes with Sean Booth, and that's where he makes like his really good money. Like a bunch of 10 girls go and they do a private workout with Sean Booth as their trainer, and he does very, very well with that. I did a fitness retreat for Michelob Ultra in where were we? We were in Arizona. We were in
I was
Arizona. I
gonna
did that
say, yeah.
fitness retreat, and Sean Booth was one of the trainers, and it was so odd because I did Sean's workout class, and everyone had to like wear the same shirt. I mean, it's like we all got like kind of flown out there for free, kind of by the brand to kind of go there. But he said he could only work out in this specific shirt. So the company
Did you have a
had like
brand deal or something?
no, it was just like I like the material. He was saying about the material of the shirt. I was like, dude, you're teaching a 30-minute fucking aerobic class. Just fucking teach. And he was like, no, no, I like this shirt that I could pull on. I was like, dude, stop worrying about what the material of the shirt. Like it's a nice shirt. Everyone else is wearing the shirt. You could wear the shirt. And I just remember how difficult he was, and it was just so odd. Um, I don't know. That was my Sean Booth story. Sorry, I thought it'd be better, but um, I thought it was gonna land better, but just a strange guy. But yeah, Kalen Bristow didn't hold back talking about Sean Booth, and yeah, I can only imagine how uncomfortable it is for, like when you run into someone, especially on a plane. You guys both know each other, but you guys
Mhm.
don't say anything. Like I wonder if you
So
should have been just
awkward.
like a hi or just handshake. Hey, what's up, dude? How you doing? But nothing.
No. Nah.
Not
He's got
worth
the
it.
new girl like that. No. You just move on.
All right. Well, listen. Let's keep moving on with this to number 6.
Kim Kardashian says she does not want to talk about Kanye West's alleged battery, especially when it's in front of her kids. So if you saw this video that was kind of making the rounds this week, where Kim Kardashian was approached by a photographer and asked what she thought or if she had any comments on the alleged incident that happened between her ex-husband Kanye West and a photographer, where he grabs a cell phone out of this woman's hand,
We
and
don't know.
now it's
First of
made
all, we
into.
don't know if that was a photographer. Like she was like,
Oh, I thought they made it public that it was a paparazzi.
no. So there was paparazzi there, but I don't think we knew if she was a paparazzi or just like a fan.
I thought they had reported that it was a paparazzi. Whatever.
Okay.
Fan,
Yeah. Yeah.
paparazzi, don't know. He grabbed the phone out of someone's hand and is now in a lot of trouble for it. But another photographer asked Kim, and she said, "Do not talk to me about this in front of my kids." And I would agree 100%. I saw someone ask this question in our private Facebook group off the record. They said, what are your guys' thoughts? And there is a rule. You don't ask this shit in front of kids. Like, you don't do it. And especially with Kim, who has gone very public saying how hard she has, worked to keep her children sheltered from all the Kanye craziness and everything going on the news. And she doesn't talk about it. And even if her and Kanye are in a horrible situation, she still turns on his songs because that's what the kids want to hear. Like, why would you ask him about this in front of her children? Like, it's such a no-no. And it's so many, I think
It's a moral
every
thing.
paparazzi that we've had on would agree that's not the time to ask. You wait until she is alone, till she is with adults, to ask a question like that if you have to.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's one of those things where it's a people thing. Are you legally allowed to do that? Ask her whatever you want. Yeah, you can, but you got to read the room a little bit, and it's just not the time or place. And especially for Kim, who's just very good to the paparazzi. When I mean she's good, it's she doesn't hide. She gives up the shots. Like you just gotta. It's a two-way street here. So I don't think. I think the way Kim handled it was great. I don't think the way the paparazzi handled it. Like the paparazzi, yeah, you shouldn't have asked that question. Just it wasn't good. Now let me get back to the Kanye situation because that happened a few days ago and we never spoke about that. Dax, what were your thoughts about that whole Kanye situation with how he dealt with everything?
At the end of the day, you can't reach into someone's car. You can't grab a cell phone out of their hand. I mean, I it's interesting that is going to a battery allegation. 'Cause did you feel like there was battery there? Or did you just feel like he grabbed the phone out of the person's hand?
It's hard to say battery, but I felt like he was just being triggered. You
Yeah.
walk up to have a conversation, they're filming you on your cell phone. It's like, dude, I'm here to talk to you and be like, this is not right. I'm here to see my kids. And again, I'm not one of those type of paparazzi who tries to get those type of shots. I understand like that he is a public figure and it is a public space, but I don't know. It's a hard thing that I have a balance with where it's like a two-way street. Like, do you get the shots and
Mhm.
just leave? Like, hey, we got a few shots, then you kind of bounce and just kind of let them leave, or I mean, obviously there's a lot of camera guys there. I just think for what the woman was saying back, I just didn't think that paparazzi was saying anything back to him. She was like, "But Kanye, you're a celebrity. You're a celebrity." He's like, "So what? I'm a person." I thought Kanye, and I'm not speaking, Kanye has done a lot of damage in the past year. I thought Kanye like came over. He's like, "It's not okay, but I'm a person too. I'm a human on a human level." So I kind of, I, I'm not praising what he did, but I honestly can understand the frustration and why he did it.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Well, we got Adam Glyn, Kanye defender. All right.
Yes,
Moving
the
on.
one. Yes. Oh God. There you go. Now I'm canceled. All right. Number 5.
Ozzy Osbourne canceled all of his shows. He says his touring career is done, and
Why
so
did
he
not
announced that all of his What is it?
this did not make bigger. This should have been bigger news. I think more people should have been talking about this. So go on with this story.
Well, we're talking about it, and we are what matters.
That's true.
So, so he canceled all of his upcoming shows. Basically, just he is not physically capable of doing it anymore. He's 74 years old. He had a major accident like 4 years ago in which he damaged his spine, and he can no longer cope with the traveling requirements for a tour. He basically said, "My one and my only purpose during this time has been to get back on stage. My singing voice is fine. However, after 3 operations, stem cell treatments, endless physical therapy, and groundbreaking cybernetics, I don't know how to say that, treatment, my body is still physically weak." And at the end of the day, I'm like, the dude's up there. We all know that he's struggled with his health over the years. So I do not blame him one bit, but I know that this tour was supposed to start back in 2019. Then it was rescheduled. People held onto their tickets. They waited, and he's just saying that meant the world to me. But I can't do it. So good for him to listen to his body and realize that this might be a poor decision if he was to move forward with it. So I think they're looking for a way for him to tour without necessarily leaving one spot, and to me that just screams Vegas. He could go to Vegas and basically essentially tour the world because everyone's coming to him from around the world. I mean, we've seen everyone else do it, so why not Ozzy Osbourne?
Yeah, that'd be great. Ozzy in Vegas would be awesome. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, is he the same performer as he once was 30 years ago? No, but it's sort of sad. The Ozfest was so big, and the guy's just a legend, and it's like you said, it's kind of cool that he's listening to his body. He physically can't do it. But props to Ozzy on a great touring career. I mean, the guy he's done it all. He's got great stories, and he's just he seems like a good dad as well. Based on I watched that show with him and Jack Osbourne where they kind of travel. So props to Ozzy on a good career. All right, number 4.
Thomas Girardi, the estranged husband of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Erica Jane, is indicted in Chicago, and so we've been watching all this. He's now charged with 8 counts of wire fraud, 4 counts of criminal contempt of court for allegedly diverting more than $3 million in settlement money stemming back from that October 2018 plane crash, and it was all in order to fund his California law firm. And so he is now set to be arraigned on Tuesday before a judge in Chicago. If you remember why he even became so famous and working with so many celebs, he was the one working at the institution that inspired the 2000 Julia Roberts film Aaron Brockovich. And so back in 2020, when all of this kind of started, the judge asked him what happened to the $2 million that was meant for the Lion Air crash victims, because that's what it was about. The Lion Air crash happened. He was representing a couple families. And a ton of money, I think it was like $12 million, was sent to him that he was supposed to then give out to the families. And $3 million of it just kind of vanished and didn't make it to the families. And he was using that to support his law firm and all these other things, and also send it to other clients that he hadn't paid them off either. Their settlements had kind of gone into his pocket. So the dude's effed is what it comes down to. He's a bad guy. And if you're stealing from like plane crash families, victims, all right, plane crash victims, families, like that's pretty scummy.
Yeah, yeah, and now it's fortunately for Erica, she's kind of getting like
Yeah,
she's
but
not.
she's not charged in
Yeah,
any of this. Her
yeah.
name's just been dragged through the mud, but none of this she has not been brought in legally on any of
She's
this.
so lucky that she hasn't because, you know, just through other housewife news, like Teresa, I know Teresa
Hmm.
signed papers and
Well,
stuff like
Teresa
that.
was a part of it.
Yeah, she was a
This
part of
sounds like it all went through his law firm and not it didn't come home with him.
Yeah, but the part of me thinks Teresa, where Teresa didn't even know what was going on, but yet again, because she didn't know what was going on, she got
Teresa clearly knew what was going on or she wouldn't have gone to prison.
But do you think she's? Let's be real. Do you think she's intelligent enough to know like she was doing some fraud? I honestly question that. I wonder, like, at the end of it, what she did was like, so what she did was illegal, and she paid the price. But do I actually think she kind of knew? I don't know.
I don't know. I
She
don't
could do
know.
what she's doing told. I don't know, but you don't like that take.
I just think that if she went to prison, they decided she knew enough.
Yeah, well, she signed documents, and you're responsible for what you signed. So it is.
Yep.
But luckily for Erica, she's not being thrown into the mix. It's only through Tom and his law firm. So yeah, man, I think we kind of know what the rest of his life is going to be like. All right, number
Hmm.
3.
This is wild, but the Dr. Phil talk show is ending after 21 seasons. He's going to move on from daytime. He has basically said, "Look, this was an amazing, amazing venture in my life. I did it for so many years, but I'm ready to move on." He said, "I've been blessed with over 25 wonderful years in daytime television." He said, "With this show, we have helped thousands of guests and millions of viewers through everything from addiction and marriage to mental wellness and raising children. This has been an incredible chapter in my life and career, but I'm going to be moving on from daytime. There is so much more I wish to do." What that is, I don't know. I think he's going to be making some kind of deal with CBS Media Ventures to increase his impact on television and viewers. I don't know if that means moving into a an EP role or if he's going to be doing more specialized episodes. I don't know what that means. But that's kind of what Oprah did as well. She pulled her show off the air and then started doing like bigger, impactful interviews and just releasing those as they were coming out instead of having a daily television show because that's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. So when you do something like this and something what Oprah did, is it less work, more money, or is it just less work and just still making money?
I mean, I think you could still probably make a lot of money. I don't think it's going to be a daily talk show type money,
Yeah,
but
daily
the
talk shows
dude's
is a lot of work.
clearly got buttloads of money. He's fine. I don't think he needs some money at this point in his life. I think he just wants to stop the daily grind. It's a lot of work. And do we know how old he is?
He's up there. I mean, I feel like he's been old ever since he started. You know, like it's not like he's got the show. He was a young guy. Like he started the show old. I feel like
Let's see.
he hasn't
How
changed his
old
look.
is how old is Dr. Phil? What do you say, Google's?
I'm guessing 70.
72.
I was gonna say 73.
Yeah, 72.
So he started when
Dang.
he was 50. Wow, guy's always been old to me. I don't know.
He really has.
Um, yeah, his last episode, he's got to bring "Catch Me Outside." How about that? That
Catch me
girl.
outside. He's got to bring Oprah.
He's got
Oprah is the reason he even had a talk show. So come bring Oprah,
Oprah, then Oprah and
bring
"Catch Me Outside" on
bring
the
Bad
same stage.
Baby, bring everyone.
Bad Baby. Her and Bad. My son. I'm saying make sure Bad Baby, not Bad Bunny. Bad Baby and Oprah on the same stage with Dr. Phil. That's gonna be some sort of whack pack. All right, Dax. Number 2.
Number 2, Beyonce announces a summer world tour for her Renaissance album. This is a big deal. Obviously, everyone went crazy when she announces anything that she's doing, let alone a tour for her 7th studio album. And she did it, obviously, on Wednesday, February 1st, to launch off Black History Month. But this album, she debuted back in July. It's an ode to Black queer culture, disco anthems, soulful ballads, sexy lyrics, all of that kind of stuff. And now you get to see it when she goes on tour in 2023. She released all the tour dates. It starts on May 10th in Stockholm, and then she goes through Brussels in the UK, and then into July, she kind of comes back here to the States, where she hits up Philadelphia, Nashville, Minneapolis, and then she ends the tour in September on the 27th in New Orleans at Caesar Superdome. So this is a really big deal. I was watching just Instagram meltdown when she announced. So this will be a big deal. And I think if I remember correctly, she's selling them through Ticketmaster. Is that
Uh-oh.
safe?
Listen,
Is
we saw
that
what happened with
safe?
Taylor Swift, so hopefully there's no I have to imagine Ticketmaster learned their lesson from what happened with the Taylor Swift situation a few weeks back. So I just hope, for everyone's for their safety, because I think Beyonce, the Beehive will
The
go
Beehive.
crazy if there's any issues with these tickets.
Yeah, so they're gonna start selling tickets on February 6th, but those are gonna be exclusive pre-sale to her Beehive members, and then and I do believe that they are gonna be selling also at like Live Nation, so like Beyonce.livenation.com and Ticketmaster. Maybe they learned their lesson. That's why they're not gonna just rely solely on one platform to sell the tickets because of the whole Taylor Swift debacle.
It's gonna be a hot ticket. It's gotta be a wild thing when you know you're about to do some tour and you're gonna sell out every single place you do. Like, oh yeah, we're just gonna sell out
Hmm.
every stadium.
I think
We go.
Beyonce is just used to selling. Like it would be a weird news story if she didn't sell out something
Yeah, but the
at this
expectation is
point.
like, yeah, like we don't have there's not a stadium out there that's like small enough
Yep.
that's big enough that contain. It's a wild thing. But I went to see Beyonce once, and it's kind of crazy. Like after a Beyonce concert, because everyone walks out so empowered that there's just like
Mhm.
everyone. It just feels like so good, and they're just like, I don't know. It's just kind of funny. I didn't give a shit. I was stoned, but
Because you're not a girl. You don't run this world.
run this exactly. I don't run this world. I'm not a girl, so I just chill. I just kind of do me and sit in the corner and laugh. Um, but yeah, congrats to the Beehive. We get to see a good concert this summer. All right, Dax, the number one story of the week.
Tom Brady has retired again for the 19th time, but he's saying this time it is 100% for sure not coming back to football. And Gizelle Bundchen actually commented on his retirement announcement video saying she was wishing him only wonderful things. And I just think, Tom Brady, God damn it, why didn't you just retire last year like you said you were going to? I mean, don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed watching him, but I feel like his life fell apart in since his last retirement to this one. Like he's had a divorce. He didn't make it to the Super Bowl this year. Like you should have stopped when you were on top. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I feel bad that so much shit has come forward over the last year because he played like crap this year because his mind wasn't on football. It was on all his home life. So I don't know. I just wish he would have, looking back, just done the retirement last year and stuck with it.
Listen, that wasn't. If he knew this past year was going to be like it was, he probably would have retired last year. But at the end of the day, he had a great career. I respect how he did it. He just did it, just made a quick video and kind of thanked everyone. He didn't do it at a red carpet. He didn't do it on some TV show. He didn't do it with a tweet. He made a video that was like, it looked like it was him on the beach. And it was just
Hmm.
like nice, just like quick, easy, and nice. And guy had a great career. So
Yeah, great career, and don't expect him to go away. I know he'll do color commentary for
not a,
whatever
I don't think
NFL.
right away he'll do that. I think he's going to take his time if he actually does it. But I actually will be surprised if he does it. Like if like
I'm sure he will. I am sure he will. I'm
he
sure.
doesn't need the money. Is it just where
He
he's
doesn't need the money, but he loves football so like it's literally in his blood that I can't imagine him walking away and never being around it anymore. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like he is just the guy that I see him at the Super Bowl, but he's there now as a reporter or a commentary to deliver it to the world. Like the Manning brothers do such a good job because it's in their blood. So I see him being very the same way.
Yeah, well, congrats to Tom Brady. I thought you did it in a nice way. The video where you didn't it was just a I think he did it in a very tasteful way. So very cool. All
Have you
right.
gone to look at the comments? I just realized I never went to look at the comments on her comment. I bet there is some interesting responses to her leaving a comment at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though I know they're co-parenting, they're doing just fine. I bet a lot of people, because I have to stop a lot of people for blaming her. They blame her all the time for him and for the career and all that. And I'm like, you don't know what it must be like to be married to a football superstar, the GOAT, and how there is literally no birthday, no anniversary that he's not missing because football always comes first. So I wonder, though, I need to go read through some of those comments.
Yeah. All right. That's our top 10 stories of the week. That's our Raw rundown. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure if you're watching us on YouTube, you like and subscribe to us. If you are on TikTok, we're on TikTok at Hollywood Raw Pod. TikTok or Hollywood Raw. Instagram, Hollywood Raw Pod. We're also on Facebook. We have this private Facebook group called Off the Record, which I highly suggest you guys join. It's a good community where we get to interact with you guys. You guys interact with each other. Just really cool and fun. Find me at Adam Glyn, at Adam Glyn, Glyn. Find Dax Holt at Dax Holt. Leave us a review. We need that. Thank you guys for listening. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Guys, hope you liked that video. We got a lot more where that came from.
Hit that bell, like, subscribe, share with a friend. The best thing you do to support us is really doing that. And we really need the money because we need hair gel.